Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. Actress Taraji P. Henson took to social media demanding that Cook County release her former Empire co-star, Jussie Smollett, from jail. Now, your Jussie Smollett received a 150-day jail sentence for filing a false police report in early 2020 in connection with a hate crime that your Jussie Smollett alleged happened, where he was allegedly assaulted by MAGA supporters. However, after an investigation, it was found that your Jussie Smollett staged this incident in an effort to try to get attention for himself so that he could get a raise on his show, and he could also go out here and get more exposure for himself. Now, your Taraji P. Henson believes that your Jussie Smollett is not getting a punishment that fits the crime, and she goes on to compare what happened to your Jussie Smollett to the tragic lynching of Emmitt Till. And when your Taraji P. Henson goes out here and compares what your Jussie Smollett is receiving in the criminal justice system to the travesty of justice that happened to Emmitt Till, that just shows me how this actress is completely out of touch with reality and how she's completely disconnected from the black community, because there is no way you can go out here and compare what happened to Emmitt Till to what your Jussie Smollett did. No, what happened to your Emmitt Till was far beyond his control. He was basically a 14-year-old boy down in the Jim Crow South, and he had no sort of power and control over anything, and he didn't even know what was going on with Carolyn Donham, that white woman who pulled this crap test on her husband and her brother-in-law by setting them up to go out here to murder that boy. No, your Jussie Smollett willfully and intentionally, with malice aforethought, staged an incident where he made himself to be the victim of a hate crime, and then went out here and recruited two Nigerians to make it look like he was being attacked by some so-called MAGA supporters. And he did this with malice aforethought because he wanted to go out here and make himself a victim that people he thought would sympathize for, and he thought he could use that sympathy as a way to gain leverage with the public, and then use that leverage to try to be able to get himself a raise in salary on this Empire show, and he thought it would build up his exposure and make him more popular in the media. So what your Jussie Smollett was doing was intentional and malicious, and he had no regard for the people's lives he was putting in danger by going out here and stirring up this race rhetoric, because he was out here looking to go out here and polarize people by going out here knowing that in a predominantly blue city, saying the term MAGA supporters, this would go out here and agitate people in far left groups like Black Lives Matter, and it would get many of those people on the Black Lives Matter side upset and emotional on the left, and it would also get those people who were a part of the so-called MAGA group on the right. It would get those people frustrated and agitated, and he didn't care that he was going out here polarizing these groups based on race. No, it was all about him getting attention for himself and getting sympathy for himself and creating some covert contract where he believed he would be able to use this again as a way to gain leverage in Hollywood to make himself a bigger star. And that is what makes your Jussie Smollett an extremely unethical person. And while your Taraji P. Henson wants to sit there and say, oh, his career was over and that is punishment enough, no, it's not punishment enough, because this man could have possibly led to the deaths of many people out here had they bought into his rhetoric and bought into his narratives as related to this hate crime. This could have led to people going out in the streets marching and protesting, and it could have led to an incident where people wound up getting hurt. And your Jussie Smollett wouldn't have cared because it was all about him being the center of attention and making himself out to be a victim of a crime that did not happen. And that just shows how completely selfish this male was and how completely egregious this male was as related to his behavior. But this flies over the heads of many of the people in Black Hollywood as related to Jussie Smollett. They want to sit here and say that the punishment did not fit the crime, but no, your Jussie Smollett went out here and he played a stupid game with white supremacy, and he won a fucked up prize as a result. So as I see it, the punishment is what he got for going out here and trying to play a stupid game by trying to play people based on race. And when you play people based on race, what happens is it may not end the way you think it will. Because with white supremacy, they always find a way to break their toys. And after toying with your Jussie Smollett, they decided to break this toy in the way that they usually do, by making an example out of him. And this is what happens to those who go out here and play the stupid game with white supremacy. They wind up winning the fucked up prize at the end of the day. And that's exactly what your Jussie Smollett won at the end of the day by involving law enforcement inside of his marketing stunt. He wound up winning the fucked up prize because he went out here and played the stupid game, trying to make himself the victim of a hate crime, bringing law enforcement in the middle of his nonsense. And when he brought law enforcement in the middle of his nonsense, what he did was create a situation where if you involve law enforcement, what they do is they make you suffer the consequences. This is just the basic. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. And when there is a cause, there is an effect. And the cause that Jussie Smollett created to make himself a bigger star by involving law enforcement and filing a false police report led to the effect of him winding up being prosecuted for filing that false police report and being put through the criminal justice system. And once he went out here and orchestrated this stunt, he was the one responsible for all of this, and he has to deal with the consequences of all of his actions. It's not about him getting letters from Samuel L. Jackson or other actors out here. That doesn't wash in the criminal justice system. No, when you go out here and get the criminal justice system involved, it's not about those prominent people in Hollywood writing letters for you. It is about a justice system process going through, and that process is going to go through because your alleged actions have evidence to back up what happened to you, and that evidence shows that you committed a crime. Now, there are some people who want to say, oh, there are white people who don't get punished like this, and that's the white people do it too argument. But your Jussie Smollett should have known better, because as a biracial black man, the criminal justice system does not see you the same way. And any self-aware, critical thinking black man, they understand that the criminal justice system doesn't see them the same way, and they act accordingly. Unfortunately, your Jussie Smollett thought he could play white supremacies and use the intersectional card, sort of like a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Red Eyes Snow Dragon or whatever it is in Yu-Gi-Oh! And he thought he could use the intersectional alphabet cards to gain him some sympathy in white supremacy's criminal justice system. But white supremacy's criminal justice system saw him as black first, and they let this black man know that they were going to make an example out of him. So what your Jussie Smollett did, he thought, oh, I'm going to use the intersectional and alphabet cards to go out here and get some sympathy from white supremacy. But white supremacy's rules are that you are black first, and once they see you as black first, they could care less about whatever prominent black celebrities write letters for you or whatever people talk about wanting to so-called free you. They don't care because they need to make an example out of you, and once they make that example out of you, it's about sending a message to other black people that if you try to play games with white supremacy, they are going to send a message that you are going to be dealt with accordingly. And they dealt with your Jussie Smollett accordingly, and that's how they deal with things. But your Taraji P. Henson, she wants to go out here and make a straw man argument comparing the tragedy that happened to Emmitt Till to what's happening to Jussie Smollett. No, they're not the same thing. No, your Emmitt Till had no way of knowing what was happening to him. He had no way of being able to overcome any of this. Your Emmitt Till suffered as a result of people not preparing him or teaching him about the world of white supremacy at a young age and being able to navigate the dark Jim Crow South. No, what happened to Emmitt Till, sadly, it would have happened because this white woman, she was crap testing these white men. And just as this boy didn't even know what was coming towards him. He lost his life tragically because of this white woman playing a game with him, and she wound up leading to this boy losing his life, and he never got any sort of justice, and we have to wait for the Most High to give out justice to this Carolyn Donham by putting her in hell where she belongs. But that's not the same thing as what happened with your Jussie Smollett. No, your Jussie Smollett willfully and intentionally misled people, and he went out here and used black people as pawns as a way to go out here and elevate himself at our expense. Your Jussie Smollett didn't care about any black people who would have been victims of violence had these MAGA supporters and Black Lives Matter gotten into some sort of conflict. No, he didn't care about anybody out here but himself, and he didn't even see himself as a black person until after he was sentenced. No, your Jussie Smollett wanted to be anything but black until he got his sentence, and when he saw himself about to do 150 days in jail with Bubba and Tiny and about to be traded for those hot and sour ramen noodles, Little Debbie snack cakes, packs of Oreo cookies, Kit Kats, and cans of Dr. Pepper, and about to get his hair washed by Roger, that's when your Jussie Smollett started to get scared, and the thing that he got scared of was not about the sentence, it was about finding out how black he was. And when he found out how black he was, that's what got him really scared, and that's when he started getting emotional, started talking about how not suicidal he was, and how he didn't want to go to prison and be with the rest of the black guys in the prison, like Bubba and Tiny and Roger and Mr. Snuggles. He didn't want to be with those guys up in there, and that's what got him upset. That's what got him terrified, finding out he was a black man in America and there were no special privileges being given to him. And your Taraji P. Henson doesn't really understand that what's happening to your Jussie Smollett could easily happen to her, and advocating on social media isn't going to change anything for Jussie Smollett, because when you play a stupid game with white supremacy, this is the end result, and this is something that flies over the heads of all of those black celebrities in Hollywood. Your Jussie Smollett went out here and he played a stupid game with white supremacy, and now he's dealing with the punishment that fits the crime that white supremacy has established, and that crime was trying to go out here and thinking you're smarter than white supremacy, and that is the ultimate crime that your Jussie Smollett is being punished for, trying to think you can finesse white supremacy, but the only thing he did was finesse himself into a prison sentence where he's going to learn that the value of a black celebrity is the same as a cup of hot and sour noodles. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint that feature positive images of black people, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashware's, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available. Paperback and Kindle Unlimited. ISIS, the main event. It's carnage inside of a steel cage when the goddess next door steps in the squared circle with a beast from the boss in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, the main event, paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.